and welcome to this week's episode of Madeleine Interviews Artists. Today we have Max Fowler with us. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you so much. How are you?
Oh, very, very well. I'm so excited to have you on the show. I found you a couple of months ago through TikTok through the song Jealous.
Oh
And
my God, amazing.
oh my God, I've just been obsessed with your music ever since. Like, I really struggle to put it into like a genre, a specific box, but I think that's just like a testament to how experimental you are and how original I think your sound is. So, for anyone who hasn't heard your music, doesn't know who you are, how would you describe the Max Fowler sound?
Very contemporary, it's very pop, but I have a lot of background in other genres that end up leaking into it, like musical theatre and jazz, and most of the stuff I've been branching into recently being a much more heavy, like EDM and drum and bass, and it's a really good, healthy mixture of everything in just feel good music.
That's such a good description, like feel good, but also like hits you in your feels. Like
For real.
your
I
latest,
want it to like either move you or make you move.
that is a great slogan. That needs to be an album title.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because your newest EP, How to Heal a Heart. Oh my God.
Yeah, thank you.
Do we feel your emotional journey in that? And I want to know every single thing about that EP. How did it come about? And what was the whole sort of making recording process like right up until release?
This one's been kind of crazy, being the most recent. It's the first non-single I released ever, and I mean it's literally been circling around in my brain for like 3, 4 years now. I mean the whole thing was based on my experience of heartbreak with someone I was talking to over the summer before I started studying at Royal Welsh. I wanted to describe that experience through the different phases of like grief, through like bliss and separation, like desperation, devastation, and finally acceptance. Just really diving deep into each of those, showing a side of my music that isn't just, kick drum and synth and power dance, like a more emotional, more authentic side.
Yeah, and you totally get that. I mean, I think the first time I listened to How to Heal a Heart, I actually cried.
Oh,
It got to get you back, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm being taken in
uh,
so many different places here."
it was a very
Yeah.
powerful thing to make. I think in a weird way, part of the healing process is going back to parts of you thought were healed. And a lot of making that EP healed those parts of me that were still hurt without me realizing. And I just really hope that people listening to it have the same experience.
So it was kind of like was making the EP a way for you to process everything that happened to
Totally.
you.
Yeah. It was really weird as well because I meant to put it out like so many years earlier. Just things get in the way and my music producing skills weren't where I wanted them to be for this. And I guess they never will be. But I finally got to a point where, I just locked in. I like locked in for 3 weeks and just went, you know what, it's getting done. It was weird to dig up so many emotions that I had already processed years before. I made this earlier this year at 21, and I hadn't thought about most of these feelings or events since like 18. And it was so weird to kind of dig into that younger version of myself.
Do you find that the time that you'd spent sort of after that event had given you sort of different perspectives on how you saw it at the
Completely.
time?
Yeah. So much of it was realizing how much hurt that can cause someone and how lucky I was to be in the shoes I was in. A lot of the healing process had to do with being surrounded by such amazing friends and family who I didn't really share any of the details of this with. I didn't note it significant at the time, but just being themselves and being there for me, it was always so valuable to have that escape and to show me what was actually important.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely comes through in the EP as well. Like, especially when we get to the end, as you said, it gets to the kind of like acceptance stage of it.
Yes, totally.
Do you find that your sort of the people who surround you, do you think they influenced that music creation then, like in your lyricism and
Absolutely. And not just in the storyline of that, but actually in the musical sound. A lot of my friends, because of what I do now in university, are musicians, and so many of them are writers and producers as well. And they influence me so much. They're just such productive and creative people, and you really can't compare it. It's apples and pears, apple and oranges. What's the phrase? Don't know.
Yeah.
But it's you can't compare them, and so being able to see the process of people learning who they are as musicians and take leaves out of their books is really fun and so just freeing creatively.
So what has that been like for you then studying at like one of the most prestigious music conservatoires in the
Prestigious. Oh,
country?
I don't know about. I mean, I love it. I mean, for the moment I joined, it has literally been a magical journey the entire time. I mean, from the people to the resources, the staff, like every thing every year has brought something different, a new challenge. I feel like my music has completely transformed, so, to the point where I feel like I'm ready to be in my final year now and to then actually step out into the real, very scary world of being an independent artist.
How do you think you kind of saw music when you started your course versus how do you think you've progressed maybe in your musical styles, your production styles, lyricism, all of that?
I see it much more now as a career. I didn't really view myself as an artist. I had a bit of a stigma for that word, even. I'm not some artsy fartsy person who's all creative and whimsy. I'm not up with the fairies. Except now I absolutely am all of the time, and that's the way you have to be when you're plunging into a creative world of work. You have to be there all the time and just give no fucks about what people think about you at all.
Mm,
Because
definitely.
you have to just plunge yourself into that creative mindset and stay there all the time, because you never know when inspiration is going to strike you. And if you're still in a place where you're afraid to be your creative version of yourself around other people, your family, you're going to limit yourself from progressing. So I think the biggest thing that's changed is just being more open and honest about the fact that I am a musician. I'm a creative, away with the fairies person who just is never stops writing, and I'm unafraid to tell everyone I know about it.
Oh, beautiful. What do you think the root of that resistance was before you started university?
I think just, I guess, a mixture of your own influences. Your family and your media that you consume. TV and movies. I think I took a little bit too to heart about the judgment of musicians and creatives. In school, I was really lucky that I had some really great influences of creative people, of like dancers and actors and staff who were super supportive. But I was, in a like all music departments, very small circle of people who did music. And so you do end up feeling like a bit of an outcast. And I think being plunged into such a massive world of people who had all been in that boat was so transformative for how I viewed myself as a creative. I'm hoping that I can carry that with me when I'm entering the world, going back to being the odd one out.
I don't see you as the odd one out at all. I see you as a total pioneer, like absolutely
Woo!
breaking into the industry, like being right at the center, because your sound is it's so unique. I can't think of another artist that is kind of
Thank you.
in your audio sphere at the moment, which is so exciting. Like it's so rare to come across an artist like that. So what has it been like as well living in Wales? Are you from Wales originally?
So my mum is Welsh. My dad grew up in Portsmouth in the Isle of Wight. But I grew up sort of just off of Reading in England. I have always been back and forth with Wales, seeing my mum's family. I've been plenty of times before. It's so weird now looking at it as my home, because I absolutely view Cardiff as home now. It's really become that for me. I feel so myself and very safe here, despite the news. Um, but I just have a lot of freedoms here to really be whatever it is I want to be. It's whilst the rain sucks, especially now, is not stopped for like 3 weeks straight. It's worth it for the community. It's Cardiff, especially like being the capital city. It's so green and so musical. We have so many venues, and studying at one of the big ones as well. But even just walking through the town centre, there are so many musicians and buskers and people dressing up like everywhere, and it's so brilliant to be a part of that all the time.
Oh, do you find that any of that sort of Welsh culture has rubbed off on you at all in your music making?
Absolutely. A lot of Welsh music, Welsh traditional music, is very choral. I mean, I've always loved a cappella, but I've never really properly incorporated it into the work I do. Having such a big selection of brilliant Welsh singers at my fingertips is phenomenal. I mean, I've had a bunch of people who sung on my tracks, and we've done duets, and people who have been singing my music, and it's such a magical experience having a community who loves music, new and old, to realize things that you were just thinking about in your head.
Mm. Oh my God. And that's like actually a perfect segue to what I wanted to ask about next, which is With You, your single that you collaborated on with someone on your
Yes.
course. Is that right?
Yeah, so Charlotte Crane, she is literally the icon, the legend. She is so much fun. She's a brilliant classical singer, who does so much. I mean, she does musical theatre, she does pop, she does everything. And we have always been playing piano and singing together since like the first week of uni. And we literally live opposite each other now. It's so magic. Um,
Oh,
but I wanted to do a track and branch into the world of not singing my own songs, to try and go into the world of producing and commissioning and doing music for other people and not just releasing music under my name. And so this was my step into that. And it was so much fun making that with her. My God.
how did that all come about then? Did she approach you then and wanted to make a song together, or was it kind of organic in a rehearsal space?
I often just have ideas in my laptop sat there for years and years. I'm constantly making new things, and if it doesn't work out for that song in the moment, I'll just save it in a folder and tuck it away for later. But I came back to this one piano motif I created a long time ago and really wanted to create something for this duet, and I was eager to use her voice, and just whipped this one back out and started writing all sorts of lyrics about the trip I had gone to see her family in Madrid. We gone with a few friends. It was so sweet, and I thought it was just like the perfect space to start writing a summer bop. We literally recorded the whole thing over the course of like a week and a half with the video included. We did like 2 recording sessions with her to get the vocals down. It was all mixed in. It just spiraled and spiraled into something bigger and better every time we touched it. By the end of the process, I mean, it's done ridiculously big things for me now. It's my most streamed song by far. I think it's hit 10K on Spotify now just a few weeks ago, which is amazing. Yeah, it was so amazing to work with her on that.
It's a beautiful, beautiful song. It's like it definitely, I think, shows you in a really strong production sense as well. Like it's a very, very clean, polished, sort of
Thank
industry
you.
ready song. Yeah, it's beautiful. So I really want to know about the kind of production side of that. Was that collaborative, or was that you kind of maybe taking a bit of a lead on that?
That's definitely me. I've been branching into my producing skills ever since I started at uni. I got my first laptop like the Christmas before at the end of sixth form,
Oh, nice.
and I had Logic on that, and I was just obsessed with it because I've been doing it at school, and I was just so excited to be able to do it at home. And I sucked so bad at first. It's terrible. I listen back to old projects like, oh God. I'm like, it's like so quiet and yet redlining permanently. It's just awful. Trying to figure out how any of it works. Being at uni, I was so excited to have real professional advice. And that's exactly what I've got. I mean, I've had such incredible tutors and classes of, what the hell to do with production and mixing, mastering, engineering sound is such a language of its own. It's so overwhelming, especially for someone just starting out. And I think having uni to guide me through that was really, really, really valuable.
Mm.
And I'm so grateful to be in a spot now where I feel like I'm constantly able to learn with and without uni, making things and working with new people.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people when they're starting out in music can maybe find a little bit intimidating about music
Absolutely.
is yeah, all of that production stuff. Because yeah, as you said, like the language can sometimes feel incredibly thick and very
Yes, it's
unwelcoming.
so complicated for no reason. It's a lot of squeezing so much information into as little space as possible with all the plugins like compressors and EQ and distortion. And there are so many things that we all have kind of vaguely heard of, but never actually know what they do. And it's so hard, like trying to wrap your head around what like you're doing maths. It's like you're actually calculating sound waves and trying to squish them into something that's like pretty to listen to, and it's so weird to learn.
It's a hard thing to wrap your head around initially, but would you maybe agree with me in saying that once you have those skills, like it just gives you so much autonomy over your music?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I think everyone, regardless of whether you're producing your own music or not, should become studio spoken. I think it was Megan Trainor who's done a few interviews on this, and she's not the only one. I mean, there are so many other artists who produce their music. She is the kind of person who doesn't necessarily produce her tracks from scratch, but she will always do her own vocals. She understands how to compress and equalize and mix her voice into a beat. It's such a powerful force in the studio. The producers and the writers really respect that in a performer because it's such a rare skill. And if you have the opportunity to learn anything about it, even just starting on YouTube is fine. I think it's a really, really valuable skill to have as a musician.
Where would you say is like a really good place to start for anyone who is maybe watching this and thinking or wanting to get into production, but sort of a bit intimidated by it? Is there like a first step that you would take?
Find a free software and just experiment with layering. GarageBand or all the rest, like there's a million out there that are free and pretty powerful on their own, and just playing with it and having it fun. Because I mean, if you're going into a career in music, it does become pretty serious about like, oh, I need this to sound professional and whatever. But if you're just starting out, you should absolutely just ignite your passion for it. Layer your vocals and see what that sounds like. Try auto tune. Try recording yourself and making loads of instrument tracks and just have fun with the power to make music with yourself. Because ultimately, that's the main reason we even have producing in the first place, because one live microphone just wasn't enough.
One thing that I really sort of I want to do with my channel as well is try and get people into production because it can often
Yes.
seem like the very sort of straight male spaces.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's like it's really understanding that we kind of need to, I don't know how to word this, like sort of reclaim it back a little bit and that
Yeah,
it's a
I
space for
completely agree.
anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny thing as well because it's such like a male dominated field production. I mean, in Robosh, it's so funny because every department has their stereotypes. Like there are so many men in brass and so few in the vocal department. And in composition production. I mean, in my year we have two, and I mean it's hard to keep track, but like there are so few women in production, and I think it's important to not feel suffocated by that, because you can be the odd one out and still make that your advantage. Standing out isn't a bad thing in the music world.
No, no, of course. And like just as you said earlier, it's even, even if you can't produce a track fully, just having the vocabulary and having the
Yes.
language is still a really, really useful
Just
skill.
surround yourself with as many musical people as possible. However you do that, surround yourself with these people because you'll all end up learning from each other and spiraling into more and more advanced stuff.
Mm,
And the more you can learn from each other, the more everyone benefits.
definitely, definitely. Cool. I really would like to be a little bit selfish right now
Go
and
for it.
ask you about my favorite song of yours, which is Jealous, because I listen to that like probably too much, like a little bit unhealthy. It's like, oh my God, there's something in it. There's like, I don't know, there's just an energy in it where you listen to it and you kind of are like, no, but I am that bitch.
Completely, completely.
I want to know everything about that song. How did that come about?
It's so funny. I was writing it from like for like a year. I mean, I was writing it over the summer, and I'd recently released Need Some Magic, which had done really well. It played in clubs, some DJs loved it, and that was really, really powerful. And I wanted to do more dance music like that. But one of the main critiques I got in my actual college portfolio that it went in was that it was very simple, which works for pop, but compositionally, it was very on the beat, very square, you know, and to really experiment with rhythm in the bass line and backing vocals and not just make everything so neat. Listening to music like Bruno Mars or Ariana Grande or every detail is so rhythmically interesting, you know? And I just wanted to write something that was in that world of layers that fight with each other, that
Mm,
works. And I ended up taking a lot of sound world from like Earth, Wind, and Fire, and elements of like Kesha and these kind of disco things. It was a lot of fun to play with. I think it's one of those tracks where I think the people who see the vision will love it, but I think the vision could be realized better one day in a weird way.
okay.
Like I am obsessed with the second verse forever. I think it's my favorite thing I've ever made. I don't think I had the knowledge or the tools at the time to really make it what I was hearing.
Wow, that's so interesting. And I think a good lesson as well to anyone that's listening that a consumer won't love your song because the production is,
Oh no, of
top
course.
standard. They'll love it because of the emotion that it gives them.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from Jealous. Like I don't think that there's anything wrong at all with the production on that track. I just love how it makes me feel.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a good point actually because a lot of people starting out in music will hesitate to upload anything because they feel that they haven't reached a level of professionalism or whatever. But to be honest, if you aren't listening back to the music you made a year ago and cringing, you're not making progress. So you shouldn't hesitate because you're never going to be satisfied. You should always be growing. You're never going to reach a point where you're like, I've achieved being good. You
Mm.
know, because it's always going to be changing for what that is and your own critiques of yourself, and you're allowed and encouraged to change and develop. So just put it out there, get it on Spotify or wherever is more respectful with your music.
Well, so many big artists, they say that, don't they? They look back at their, first albums and they're like, what the hell was I
Yeah, and
doing?
then other people cherish them.
Yeah, I
And
think
that
like
goes down from production to writing to branding, anything.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, Ariana Grande is a great example of that. Like she
Completely.
hates her first album and all of us are like, no, it's the OG, we love it.
Yeah. It's really interesting as well, especially someone so big, who has such a massive influence on everyone, to see them be so critical of work that is like award winning and cherished and like top of the charts.
Mm,
And it's such a good reminder to yourself to not be too critical, especially when we're in these early days. I mean, we're all just starting out. As much progress as we've probably made or tried to make, it's funny because we are so at the beginning.
definitely. Cool. So you're in your final year of university.
Yes.
What is up next for you in terms of your releases? Have you got any live shows coming up? What can we expect to see from Max Fowler?
Well, I'm not going to spoil too much because it's an eventful year. Let's just say that. But I'm going to be releasing a lot more music. I'm in my final year, and I'm going to be creating non-stop for my portfolios and my massive projects this year. Branching into live shows is absolutely something that is actually in the plan. I just really am this year wanting to touch base on every one of my niche interests. I have such roots in musical theatre, and branching into that is going to be a very big step. Doing it properly, dance music and soft acoustic pop. It's really about showcasing what I've got before I get plunged into the real world.
Mm.
So, if anyone wants more music from me, do not worry. If you are hungry, you will be fed.
Are we allowed to see what the next release is? Have you got any names that you can spoil or not yet?
Oh, let's just say I'm really in the autumnal spirit right now.
Ooh, oh my God, I cannot. Oh, like literally when I saw that How to Heal a Heart release, like when it just came up on, Spotify, like new release, I was like, oh my God,
Oh,
it's such an exciting feeling. Oh, well, thank you so, so much for chatting to me today. It's been so beautiful to get a glimpse into your world and how your work, because I see you like on Instagram and on social media all the time.
oh my God,
And
thank you. It is so much work.
no, it's
Oh my
beautiful
God.
though. Like your
Thank you.
process videos that you show, like please never, never, never stop doing that. It's
I
so
will do my best.
important.
Yeah.
So where can everyone find you on social media and on streaming platforms?
So you can find me at Max Fowler or Max Fowler Music pretty much everywhere. I'm on all the streaming platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the usuals. At just Max Fowler Music. I'll be posting there regularly, much more on the YouTube, much more on the streaming services. And yeah, just take a listen. And thank you so much for having me. It's been honestly, I've been so excited to do this.
Oh,
It's been such an honor to be a part of this and to be even considered as like interviewee because when you're at like a certain size of creator, it's very intimidating to like try and find opportunities to showcase your work and things. So this has been a real honor.
oh no, more people need to hear you. Like anyone that I sort of recommend music to, I've got like a little playlist and Jealous is on like
Oh my
my
God,
bad
thank you.
bitch playlist. It's like it's my favorite song of yours. But also like Get You Back does have a special place. in
Thank you.
my
Do you know what's
heart.
so weird? Is actually it's my personal favorite on the EP because I don't know what it is. It just clicks for me. But
Oh,
it's like the no one says that that's their favorite. It's always like Yellow Cars or Real Life. Like it's so weird, but I it's my favorite on the album EP.
well, we're just aligned. We just have the best
That's what
taste.
it is.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. What are you up to for the rest of the day now?
Oh, just make some dinner. I've bought a ridiculous amount of chicken that I'm thinking I'm gonna make into a little Thai curry. And probably work on more music. Uni starts Monday, and I will be busy, busy, busy. So I'm trying to make the most of it until then.
Oh, lovely. Oh, well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And please, please, please do send me new music when it does drop. I cannot
Will do, will
wait.
do. I will. Okay, well, I'll be seeing you on Instagram.
Yes, definitely. Oh, thank you so much. And goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.